forget it. And at the end of the day, it was a very different matchup because of the way these
Let's
teams
start with
work.
IG though, because IG.
Let's not forget at the end of the day,
everything else has stayed the same.
Let's start with IG though, because IG.
Let's not forget
At the end of the day,
everything else has stayed the same.
Let's start with IG though, because IG. Let's not forget
everything to make sure that their laners, you know, they're sticking with Ning. Ning has shown the ability to do that in the past. Question is, can he get in form and, you know, bring them to that world championship level that they've been before?
More like
world
we were doing a rehearsal before you talking about Ning in spring and what we actually saw in his brief run before they ran all the way through.
He did play 6 series. They started off 5-0, and then they finally lost to E-Star, and then they finally didn't prep for E-Star, and then they finally said, hey, we have our first loss, let's put in again. But 5-0 start with Ning in spring, pretty promising.
So you want to look towards Ning and also see the consistency that is not often talked about with Ning. You look towards the top side as well, and while we are looking at Ning, you have to add in his other element, which is the Shy, who right now is playing his League of Legends to a T. Chat, you know exactly what I'm talking about right here. This is what's happening with IG's top laner, who has a lot of question marks.
And the Shy's always played on a nice edge. We've always justified it by saying, oh, this is just the way IG plays. You know, the positives and negatives have always been there, but there's not even a way to explain the circumstances and depth that he's creating. In their loss to WE, which wasn't on an English day, his team's about to posture to get Dragon. He's seen diving Ornn in the bot lane, dies, and, you know, gives up the Dragon. I mean, the dies and, you know, gives up the Dragon.
I mean, the Shy has a lot of question marks next to him, again, to state the obvious. The kills and deaths, a lot of people will be saying, well, is that legit? Is that a competitive stat?
Yeah, he's I think there's also 36 assists, so he's a 0.8 KDA, you know, in the past 10 games.
It's not looking good for him, and especially when his career deaths and kills is still massively outweighed at this point in size of deaths.
Yeah, the Shy. This one's a big question mark, right? When you have a guy who was the best top laner in the world and arguably just one of the best players in League of Legends history, period, you know, what's the quick fix? What can you do going forward?
He's been outweighed. People like 369 and Zoom, who you'll see later, have taken up that mantle, and now the Shy drops down. We need to see old the Shy come in for IG to have a bit more prominence, because at the moment, it feels like Rookie is carrying this team. There is that man in the mid lane who's trying to bring up the rest of Invictus Gaming.
Going all the way back to playoffs when they were playing against TES, Rookie was opting into a lot of neutral skill matchups and was pretty much outlaning Knight every single time. At MSC as well, he was the only member of this team that showed up, and I felt really bad for Rookie's back. He definitely needs a chiropractor after the performances he's been putting on.
He's been looking so great. The champion pool as well extended, and we're seeing Rookie who, I don't know, playing some of his best League of Legends despite the fact of IG.
It definitely feels like a throwback to Season 5, Season 6, where it was Rookie against the world. And even against WE in their loss, he was completely destroying Teacher Ma. He single-handedly kept that series close to where IG could have won both of those games.
Because I remember at MSC, or at least, no, we were actually filming the next state of the podcast, the last hit that's going to be coming out soon. And we were talking about mid laners, and you still put Rookie pretty damn high on that list.
Rookie's top 2 in my mind. Even Knight came out after the playoff match against him and said, yeah, Rookie completely outlaned me, you know, in that series. He's just so good. I still look up to this guy so much.
Which is going to be massive. I've been told we are moving forward to lineup. So we have to talk about Suning a little bit before we get forward into this series. And Suning's recent start has been pretty strong despite the JDG loss. Suning sitting 2-1. Much higher than we expected.
Even their JDG loss, right? Both of those games were competitive that they could have won.
Yeah.
And for me, the big difference in this team is the meta's looking a bit better for them. SOFM on the Graves, the Kindred, these types of picks really suits his style. Bin obviously coming into form after getting so much practice with the team. And even just their team fighting as a unit looking so much better.
I mean, Bin moving away from Bubu, who of course went over to the side of Victory 5. Now Bin the starting top laner, the only top laner. A lot more prominence shown here from Suning. And while we do take a closer look at Suning, you have to also remember that going up against IG here today, it's going to be a different story. But the recency of Suning gives us hope that this matchup might be a bit more close than we first thought.
Suning's looking like a potential playoff team. I feel like nailing down that, you know, 5th through 8th spot, or even 4th at this point. We have a clear top 3 teams, I'd say, but past that, really hard to nail down who's where. And obviously, the cornerstone of this team in spring and now really has been Huanfeng. He's looking like a star level 80 carry. Of course, the interesting thing is he's coming from the IG Academy system.
The one that won LDL 2019 summer.
Exactly. So we have big expectations for this roster, especially now that SOFM and Bin are really coming into their own.
And you have to look towards Suning as we get closer towards heading into this game. How will they go against Invictus Gaming here today? And again, we've got some key players from Suning. We've got one key player from the side of Invictus Gaming. And Rookie versus the world cannot say this heavier, right? At this point, how do Invictus Gaming win this game? Well, you look towards that mid laner, carrying them on their backs.
Yeah, this is all about Rookie. I feel like this whole split for IG is going to be about Rookie. Rookie versus the world. Just look at Ning and the Shy's face.
That's what it feels like, right? It's the 1 versus 7, plus maybe depending on how Puff and Southwind go. Rookie versus World Lyric, he said it so well.
He was on stream after MSC and someone asked him, hey, you should review the games from MSC. And he's like, sorry guys, I only review games where there's something I could take away to do better.
Oh, man. And that's very fair with the performance we've talked about on and off again. Oh, sorry, over and over again, rather, at the start of this segment.
Hey, but on the side of Suning, you got to feel pretty good that, you know, you got 2 reinforcements on the opposite side of the rift.
7 people on the rift here for Suning. As we're taking a closer look at Suning. You're seeing Cha Xiao on your screen there before Fluid Wind and also Coach Fly.
I do want to bring up something that IG have also brought back. Coach Chris was a coach for them back in Season 6 and 7. Of course, was the coach for LGD when they won the split and went to Worlds.
So a bit more veterancy here on the roster of IG. They need strength. They're starting on the red side as we're still in patch 10.11, ladies and gentlemen. So 10.12, I'm sure, will progress shortly. But at this point, it's the same patch you know and love. You know what the priority picks are. And the LPL is not going to give one of them in the virus as usual.
I expect Suning to go towards the Aphelios. They've actually opted for Aphelios more than the Ezreal. We've had kind of teams that are very clear and they prefer Ezreal or Aphelios. Hwanfeng's already played the Aphelios 4 times, so... But I do like the Ezreal pick. It also opens up for a Yuumi on the second rotation, which of course is just very strong.
We also know that Hwanfeng last year when he made his debut was looked at as an Ezreal player heavily too, when the meta wasn't always towards it.
He was a bit of an Ezreal player, right? He played it a few times, did have some hype clips, but I'd still say he definitely was more geared towards these champions that could really... I don't want to say that could take over the game like Aphelios because he's pretty much the only one that fits that category. Very standard red 1-2 for IG though.
Yeah, Trundle and LPL as usual. SOFM, he's a big Lee Sin player. Wouldn't be surprised to see him lock that one in.
And yeah, look, see, they're already building towards this type of poke comp, and you know what actually shuts us down very good would be if Rookie can pull out something like a Twisted Fate. Okay. Twisted Fate's ultimate just does so well against poke comps. You have a pretty easy laning phase against the Zoe as well, but that doesn't seem very Rookie-esque, I'd say.
They've taken away the Syndra from him, Syndra being a big pick.
You could also just take Thresh here. Thresh has still been left open. Does very well with the Aphelios. You ban out Blitzcrank in the second rotation, and there's really no bad matchups left.
Also remember talking about Sword Art with this Thresh pick, but instead it's going to be the Nautilus taken for Southwind with the option available for Suning.
So, back in spring, Southwind was pretty much just a one-trick Braum in my mind, which is another reason why IG have probably fallen out of favor since teams have stopped doing that, since you realize Bard, Yuumi, even Lulu, you know, globally, picks that do very well into Braum. Not been much of a big playmaking support. Maybe that's something we need to see out of Southwind this year to kind of take the pressure off of Rookie.
Because he was the lead in that bottom lane. It was always about Southwind rather than Puff, with Puff getting carried behind his support. So you've now taken away other options for the other support in Sword Art. No Yuumi available to pair on top of the Ezreal.
I'd expect the other ban here is probably the Karma, which, you know, you do still have decent pressure on with the Nautilus from the kill threat, but banning out the Bard, it has actually been Sword Art's most played this split. He's played 4 games of Bard, which, you know, people might think, oh, most played, there haven't been that many series. Suning have already played 3 series, so they've played a ton of games, actually.
And you said before, we haven't looked at Sword Art as a Bard player, right? So
no, Sword Art, historically, throughout his career, has never been about the Bard. Really been a huge Thresh and Alistar player back in the LMS. Obviously, Alistar not meta, but never gone towards this pick.
Threshes, though. Twisted Fate going to be taken away. To your earlier point of Rookie picking something that could influence the map. He doesn't have LeBlanc either. The neutralizing lane now looked at.
Yeah, Rookie, even in solo queue, Rookie's been playing a ton of Jace, Syndra, and Zoe, so obviously 2 of those are off the table. They still can opt into a Jace and actually would be kind of weird because you're going up against poke comp, so picking less efficient poke. Yeah, so picking up the Orianna will go. You don't really have anyone to combo with, no ball delivery system. I guess Nautilus in a sense, but Rookie's always just been so good on the champion, you don't necessarily need that with him.
We've seen a lot of it in the LAC. We're actually here in the LPL. Orianna doesn't come around as Rookie. Speciality. Rookie. One of the replays we saw. One of the replays we saw. While on the side of Suning, starting to build up some of this engage with the flex potential of the set. Let's be honest, we haven't seen Set in a solo lane that much.
Yeah, I expect it to go into the support role, and then Bin probably going to pull out something new. He could still go towards that Renekton. He has played the Aatrox twice, but Wukong has really been his go-to pick. You would want something maybe with a bit of disengage, but really in this meta we don't have top lanes with disengage unless you want to go with the Phase Rush Gragas, which has been huge in solo queue, but hasn't made its way on the stage.
Not yet.
We'll see. You guys have been talking about that a little bit.
The Aatrox started this point, guys. Final lock into round out. Pretty standard. While for Invictus Gaming, hovering around the possibility of the Shy's Jace once again.
So
mid lane win game.
The Shy in solo queue has only been playing Jace and 80 carries. Also plays Akali into Camille, which, you know, is a counter matchup.
Yep.
So the Shy always going to go towards something that is more comfortable. On the side of Suning, we do have this comp that has a lot more aspects of a poke comp, but is also very brawly, can get in there and skirmish with the Aatrox in the set. Obviously, no reliable engage, so it's going to be very reliant on flanks.
Like vision for IG is going to be a bit of priority. We'll come back to Suning because for Invictus Gaming, you've got a measure of both here, right? You got Jace in the top lane for the Shy, but all round, great all-in potential.
Your only real all-in is at Nautilus, right? So that's actually going to be the difficult thing is how are you going to lock down Angel or Huanfeng going into this game? Obviously, you do have a ton of scaling on that side, though, with the Aphelios, the Trundle, the Orianna, so for IG, it's going to be all about the later stages of the game, but even then, can you get on Suning's comp?
I mean, coming into this segment, coming into this matchup, we talked about what IG need to do while Rookie is carrying the team and has been, feels like for a while now. The Shy needs to perform better. He's on a pick that needs to perform the lane and then move around the rest of Invictus Game.
You actually don't really want to move around. We do want to see Ning play towards the top side, but just get Jace at advantage, let him start taking down plates and then snowballing into the mid stages of the game. Obviously, IG's draft and their playstyle have always just been about getting favorable lane matchups.
Let me just reiterate. Maybe the Shy just needs not to die as much as he's been doing. Simple.
I feel like when you're put on this Jace, just not dying isn't enough. Like, let's say he goes even in this matchup, going into the mid stage of the game, he's just going to be, kind of a nicer minion.
I feel like I've set a pretty low bar here. We'll run into Summoner's Rift for IG Suning. Remember in spring, this one was bloody and the Shy put on a masterclass, even on something like the Ornn. Now on the Jace, we're looking at Invictus Gaming with very critical minds. A team that's already started off the split 0-1 by getting pummeled by Team WE. Suning, 2-1 start. They've played a lot of series, but they've come rolling here towards the top of the standings. And as now we're on to Summoner's Rift, we're going to see if this matchup is weighed in Suning's favor or if IG can find that resurgence to kick off their split.
I really want to see... Ooh.
Sword Art. Okay, he's of course going to start the Phase Breaker here. Puff won't have to flash yet, but it is Phase Rush and a bit of damage on top of Puff, who won't really be able to back here at this point, but it's going to do it anyway. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong quite a lot here today already. Now, runes, anything that interests you, Lyric?
No, everything's pretty standard, especially since we've started to see more Zoes go towards that.
Unsealed Spellbook.
Unsealed, thank you so much.
Dude, it's a rough start, dude. I was talking about Jace grouping, forgetting names of Unsealed Spellbook. That's okay. It's our first game. We haven't been together for a while, have we?
It has been.
How long's it been? At least 2 days?
Been quite a long time. I mean, we didn't cast yesterday. We didn't cast on Wednesday.
When did we cast last?
Tuesday.
Hey, that's at least a week.
I want to see what Ning ends up doing here because you could look for like a level 2 gank mid, try to get that flash blown from Angel, and then have Rookie pretty much control the lane for the next 5 minutes. Or is he going to go, looks like a single target clear, which will bring him back towards the top side because, again, you really want to start influencing this top lane matchup.
I mean, we'll get spotted out if he goes anywhere past those single buffs as well. Note that there is an early ward put down towards bottom side river. None from IG. Defensive ward up towards the top side to see if SOFM goes for an invade now. SOFM as a jungler, very aggressive, very targeted towards getting a bit of a power clear and getting his own lead.
Yeah, but instead he's actually going to full clear as the Lee Sin, so not feeling any...
Yeah, I know you're looking for a trade here. Just an auto attack in the end, half health each. As Unsealed Spellbook both as a flash forward on top of Puff. Heal has to be burnt. The Haymaker, I believe, a bit short there after the Ignite, and Puff will survive.
Sword Art playing so well, though, and I had a lot of question arts from Sword Art. Sword Art's still going.
I think, was Ning spotted out? Maybe not. Huanfeng left out here. He's going to walk back to lane.
But he's in a really awkward position, actually. Even Lee Sin's nearby.
And so because Ning's down there, they don't spot out Sword Art making the roam. Remember, Facebreaker is there. Angel with a Sleepy Trouble Bubble needs a hit, but instead, the damage comes out of this set support while Flash burnt in the bottom lane. That was awkward in both lanes.
Yeah, so they opt into having Sword Art go for the roam when the lane state isn't that good. But still, you're an Ezreal, so you can play back in the lane. So it's a bit of a misstep from Huanfeng. And I don't know, that was really interesting from Ning. Didn't amount to anything.
As we're looking towards the top side now, the Shy gets low. Not really enough mana to follow forward, but he does his combo and Bin heals up. The Shy at 1/4 health.
I mean, this matchup is Jace favored. Obviously, early on, you are ranged against melee matchup. It is another reason you take the phase rush, because obviously, if Aatrox can all in you, he can come out ahead, but that was really just the Shy, you know, misstepping and getting hit by absolutely everything Aatrox has to offer.
Again, follows the story of what the Shy is now versus what he was. Top lane CS even here as SOFM's down towards the bottom side. Be spotted out here, I believe, Lyric, as Puff is really far up in this lane. Has the Graviton, but no, they're not going to commit. Sword Art used his flash earlier.
SOFM missed his Sonic Wave as well.
Okay.
And actually, moving back towards the top side, we can see that IG, once again, just hard playing for the Shy, does recall, buys the call, and immediately TP's back to lane. So he's going to have a slight item advantage now. Of course, he's going to have 3 corrupting pots, no pots on the side of Bin. So this is where we need to start seeing an advantage built.
Also, remember there's Biscuits there as well, just to add insult to injury. Ning sticking around on this top side. Does put a ward towards the topside river. Excuse me, it's actually a Scuttle Crab. Now that SOFM is here as well, level 4 Lee Sin, positioning around that shadow opportunity for that top lane.
Yeah, I want to see Ning go up, do his Krugs, and then shadow topside, see the Shy get down his control ward, and then, again, start playing aggressively for these plates, and maybe even Ning come for a gank, because it does look like the wave's going to push into the Shy. It's actually thinning it out.